Welcome back to Strategic Command, the American Civil War, folks. We are continuing here with our Confederate campaign. If you haven't seen the previous one, I'd recommend you go take a look, and I'd ask that you please always, on these particular videos, like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely don't get the view count we want with these series, but I want to keep them going as long as you guys will interact with me here during this series. And I must say, the feedback has been phenomenal. I mean, some of the best feedback for a series we've gotten, some really interesting ideas here. I've got one called the New Mexico Plan that I would say is pretty much created by you guys. We've got a few ideas. One, the Naval Plan, which I think would be the hardest to implement, but man, would it be absolutely epic if we can make it happen. And you can actually see over here at Manassas Junction, we're doing all right. I'd like to try and continue this. And initially what I wanted to do was actually sneak past the federal lines and cut them off, but I'm glad I didn't. They have a bunch of secondary reinforcements here, and it looks like some general units. I'm going to keep on pushing here. It looks like these guys may have already attacked last turn. And I'm also going to continue with the fleet. We're trying to reach, essentially, the New Orleans coast. It's going to take a little while, well, I should say the Louisiana coast, because pretty much anywhere there in Louisiana, I wouldn't say we're safe, but it's where we want to be. No! There we go. Right, let's head back up. We want to take a look at the Kentucky situation. We've gotten a lot of feedback on this, and it seems that most of the feedback seems to be to let Kentucky do its thing. We can go to diplomacy here and try and slow the progress. We already have it at 4, as a matter of fact. So what I'm going to do, and it's a shame, do we have a rail system here? We do, all right. I could try and assist the invasion from Missouri, try and stop the invasion from Missouri by going over here and sending some units westwards, but it feels like to me it would take a long time to get there. Nonetheless, I don't think we have much of a choice. We're going to get General Polk, and instead of attacking Kentucky, General Polk is going to go and defend Missouri. And I want to see exactly where the capital is. Fort Smith, is that the capital? No, Little Rock is going to be the capital of Missouri here. And maybe we'll just keep a few of the guys here and a few of the guys over here in the west on the Missouri front. It's not the support we want, but it's the support we deserve, my friends. Keeping General Price back here just to keep him safe. There's no real reason to risk his life. And I want to take a look over there at the New Mexico front as well. Let's take a look, and yeah, it should be, well, close to the New Mexico front. We want to go for Tishomingo, which is the capital of the natives here that the Federals have taken, or at least one of their cities. So, of course, shutting it down and removing those Federal units from there, I feel like it can only help us out. Over here, if we go into our New Mexico front, we can go straight for Chino Mine, or we can keep taking on the Federals, and I think that's actually going to be the most important thing, is to try and remove the Federal presence at Fort Thorne. Let's go for it, although over there, that's not a great attack, so we're going to hold off. I will go to Santa Barbara and essentially cut the Federals off over here. So the goal is try to take a bunch of this territory and cut that Federal army as much as we can. Yeah, quite a bit has happened here. I believe this is only episode 4, so things are interesting, to say the least. I want to just take a look here and see if I could do any additional attacks. And despite, like, I know it's risky, but I'm going to go ahead and try to attack this brigade. And look at that, got very lucky there. We did do a little bit of damage. The goal is to try and destroy one of these Federal armies, of course. Having them around is not making our jobs easier. It's also good to see here that in West Virginia, we finally made contact with those Federal forces, just gobbling up territory, essentially just walking down the Appalachian Trail and taking whatever they want. So we won't have any more of that. I'm also going to consider getting, or not consider, I'm going to get another HQ unit. Because, of course, we're going to need to put another HQ unit there on the Kentucky border. And I think that's going to be it for this turn. Yep. Osage. Okay, they joined the Union. That's unfortunate. So Osage, I think, most of the time joins the Confederacy. This could be because they took that capital, that little capital city. Oshamongo or Tishomongo? So they have taken Cape Hatteras, guys. That's over here near Roanoke Island. Almost makes me want to bring back some of our forces because who knows? They could land an invasion force there, which would, of course, make our job very difficult. We'd have to send troops down to defend Richmond. And I am hoping it doesn't come to that because let me tell you, it would be a hell of a challenge. More fights here at Manassas Junction. It looks like they're trying to break one of our armies. Although those forces on the front lines, they are looking fairly weak. Losing a small brigade there, not great. Although at least we're not losing a massive army here. It's essentially a guard force there when you see just a single troop. Sort of a garrison force, for lack of a better term. The cavalry's gonna have to defend that city for sure. Alright, guys, there we go. The regiment. Sorry, it's a regiment. And then, thankfully, we haven't lost a division. So taking the Outer Banks, certainly not something that I like to see, I'm not gonna lie. But we're going to continue forward. I feel like we're doing quite well on the Shenandoah Valley and Manassas Junction. The border state Kentucky has considerable importance in the war for independence. Not only is it home to thousands of sympathizers for our cause, but it also covers the most likely routes of an invasion into Tennessee, the Tennessee and Cumberland rivers. Despite our best efforts, the state's legislature has fallen under control of Unionists who will block any further attempts to cause Kentucky's secession. We must now prepare for the state's eventual siding with the North, which is likely to occur in the next few months. Most importantly, we should begin deploying units in northern Tennessee so that we can invade Kentucky ourselves. All right, yep. So a lot of the units that we just sent west could be better used over here, essentially Polk's force. But I'm not too concerned. I think just, if we just dedicate Polk and 3 regiments here to this job, it's not necessarily a bad idea. I don't want to cut through here, though, because it's quite easy to make a mistake and to have the enemy overrun us. And over here at Carrollton, we're definitely going to try and retake the town. Going to fall back with this unit. We'll actually fall back with General Price and just get back across the border, essentially. Past Pea Ridge, just anything to get away from that army moving forward. Oh, okay. Going for the attack, or going for the flank to try and cut off their lines. Let's fall back. One of many moments of truth, and that is, first of all, guys, let's reinforce our units in the Shenandoah Valley. Plenty of Confederates from multiple states that want to join the war right now. So we're going to help them out. I'm also going to strike some here in the Shenandoah Valley with that brigade. They're looking pretty good. And maybe we just simply go ahead and strengthen them. Of course, our forces in the Shenandoah Valley, not quite as strong as our forces elsewhere. I also don't like that unit getting awfully close. In fact, if I can, yep, I am going to send one unit over here to Staunton just to defend that area. And we're going to continue our strike against the existing federal armies here. Not bad. We can at a minimum take this turn to rest and recuperate. It's raining out there. Nobody wants to be in a battle. Let's just try and help the boys out. Now, I wonder if sending the cavalry through there, would that be a good plan? Like, on the one hand, we cut off a lot of the enemy. On the other hand, we get our cavalry unit trapped. I don't think it's worth it. I really don't. Let's try this, though. Nice! Even taking a loss, I don't mind. We're just trying to damage, of course, those Union numbers. Really trying to, I guess, lower the amount of Union troops here. We're going to stay on the road. That's where they're going to be heading, is up and down that road. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, it looks like most of the enemy army is at Pocahontas, which is one of the locations here, and I think we should use the rest of our funds on a nice cavalry division. Maybe even some rangers. We don't really have many, and they do quite well in places like Texas and New Mexico. So let's bring those rangers in. And I think we, for the most part, that's right, we can't forget our Rebel Navy. And we're actually just off the east coast of Florida, so we are getting closer to Louisiana, and even though we're not where we want to be right now, here at Cape Canaveral, I am at least confident that we're not going to be attacked by Union shipping over here. We're trying to get into this area first, Alabama, knock out those Union ships, and then head west. And in fact, we've got some blockade runners right here that are helping defend the river, but there's not much we can do about the ocean. All right. Let's go. Oh, wait, one more thing we have to do, and that is... Actually, two more things, and that is attack that fort. There we go, Tishomingo. Ooh, the walls of the fort are doing a pretty good job defending those guys. We must be careful, folks. And what I'm going to do is try to cut this guy off from supply completely. So we've taken Santa Barbara. And hopefully, the enemy will be sort of unwilling to get any sort of ammunition or supply over in this area. Just take a quick look over here. Would be fantastic to get some more troops, but we've got to move at the pace the game sets. That's it, and the turn. And of course, we're going to suffer attrition losses ourselves because we're kind of cut off. That road's not leading to us either. A British supply ship successfully runs the blockade near New Wilmington. Nice. And Confederacy signs a treaty of friendship and alliance with the Creek Nation. We got the Creek natives on our side, and it looks like Haiti is allowing the Union to, of course, store their ships in their ports. Quite unfortunate, to say the least. Let's see what the Federals do here. I will say I'm a little concerned, but hopefully we can get a glorious victory. Here we go, fall back. They're actually sending some infantry to hold Carrollton. They're going to try to surround this army entirely. And it looks like the Federals are kind of doing exactly what we're doing. They're just reinforcing over here in the Manassas Junction area, and they're likely to do the same on the Shenandoah Valley. Although I think what they have to do on the Shenandoah Valley is extend that defensive line. So who knows? They might actually take some troops off this Manassas Junction and move them over there. That's at least what I'm hoping for. We'll have to see, though. That's what they get trying to attack outside the fort there at Tishomingo. All right, Navajo warriors clash with the Fort Wingate garrison following a horse racing dispute. And I think because of that, the Cherokee Nation actually joined us, which is great. It's right next to an area where we're fighting in Missouri. And the gold rush also begins. Just a hell of a lot going on this turn. Not necessarily militarily, but certainly just in the nation as a whole. Okay, and there's Johnston. Johnston is going to have to lead our Kentucky army. So, of course, before it would be Polk. Polk led the invasion of Kentucky. But we did things a little bit different here, and partly due to the recommendations of our viewers. And that is, we are really going for the more diplomatic approach. We didn't declare war on Kentucky. We're not going to. Essentially, what's going to happen is they're going to join the Union, and we are going to be forced to, of course, become part of that conflict. So, for now, I'm simply moving Polk's forces north, trying to get started on an already pretty difficult job. Try and take the enemy units out at Carrollton, but I don't think that's going to go very well. In fact, even our cavalry is essentially trapped here. I'm going to try to use Price to kind of funnel them through, but it's not looking good, and we're not going to be getting that supply to them, at least not this turn. That's going to take some time. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. We will be back with another episode as soon as we get, I think I'm trying to get like 500 views per episode. I'm not expecting that many. But let's try and make it happen, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Ooh, look, it's Nathaniel P. Banks. I think I'm going to stay put here. I would have loved to have one more unit. We can maybe move this guy up there and hold the line, although that means kind of leaving this area open. Nonetheless, I'm going to try to make myself known here in the Shenandoah Valley and bring some reinforcements to the front. Well, I'll see you on the next episode, folks. Take care now.